Hi guys, welcome back to Waxing On. It's Wednesday, classic rock. And today we have a real classic. Early 1980s music by somebody who I felt was just a star of the era. I never get tired of listening to her music, and basically I'm going to just feature her debut album, which was really stellar. A lot of #1 hits. She won awards for this one. It also really put her on the map in a number of different ways. And the artist I'm talking about is Cyndi Lauper. Now, some of you may know Cyndi Lauper from her music. Some of you may know Cyndi Lauper from her foray into wrestling. She was involved in that first WWF WrestleMania where she was, manager of Wendy Richter, who won the women's title. She was also connected with Captain Lou Albano, who appeared in one of her music videos. I think the one for She's So Unusual. Or no, it was the album She's So Unusual. It was the song Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Captain Lou was in that as her father. So some of you may know her there. Some of you may know her from movies. She did songs on the movie Goonies. Some of you may know her from Broadway. She actually wrote the music and lyrics for the Broadway play Kinky Boots. But way back, 1983, this is where it really started. The album She's So Unusual by Cyndi Lauper. Now, a lot of great hits on this album. Now, she didn't write them all, but surprisingly she wrote a few of them in there, and a few of them were pretty classic. So she's kind of like Linda Ronstadt in that sense, that when she takes somebody else's song, and the same is true with Janis Joplin, I'll put those two out there, she can take somebody else's song and make it her own. And to give you some idea of who she has on here, she's actually doing a song by Prince here called When You Were Mine. She has a couple she's written. A lot she does with a co-writer. I've got John Turry on here. I'm trying to see who else she had in there. A guy by the name of R. Hyman. But just to give you some idea of the tunes that are on this album. And I mean, you'll recognize the titles right away. And again, some of the great songs. Money Changes Everything. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, her first breakout big hit. When You Were Mine, the song by Prince. Time After Time, that she wrote. Now, great song. Who else do you suppose recorded Time After Time? If you've been watching our jazz shows for the last 2 weeks, it was Miles Davis. Yes, he put it on one of his albums. As well, he did an EP extended version of Time After Time. Who knew? Who knew this would be a connection back to the Miles Davis era? She Bop, All Through the Night, a great song there. Witness, I'll Kiss You, She's So Unusual, and Yeah, Yeah. I think I had 4 or 5 tunes out of this that actually, were #1 hits. It was a great album. See a little tribute to some artists you might recognize on the bottom of Cyndi's shoes here. A little something there. But she really came to the forefront. Not only did she do well on this album, you may remember back when we talked about USA for Africa, she was also part of that recording and part of that video. She was just that unique a character, had that special kind of voice and special kind of talent that really attracted people and really connected with people. So she also made, again, if you go back to that video or that clip we did about USA for Africa, you'll find her and, the kind of company she was keeping at that point, which is pretty impressive for a new artist. Now, a few years later, I picked up, again, one of my discount bin finds. And this one, now I'm in the era of CDs, so it's titled Cyndi Lauper. It's part of the collections catalog. And again, it's just a number of tunes taken from a number of different places. We've got Girls Just Want to Have Fun, obviously the big hit. The Goonies Are Good Enough, which surprisingly didn't appear on a lot of albums. It was on the soundtrack album for the movie, but it didn't appear on a lot of Cyndi's albums. I think there was another one that came on before we find out in this compilation. Time After Time, What's Going On, A Night to Remember, Fall Into Your Dreams, Iko Iko, Sisters of Avalon, I Drove All Night, and Hat Full of Stars. Now, unfortunately, with this disc, it is a discount bin find, and we have some information inside here about some of the songs. Can't show you who had written them, but there's no information about who's playing on it. And I find that's the biggest problem I get into sometimes with CDs. A lot now, that's really what I miss when we look at digital downloads. If you'd seen the albums I have here when I've got some that are, you know, the twofers with 2 albums, and they got the gatefold. A lot of information there. Who's playing, where they're recording, who's producing, who the other musicians are if they have sidemen on there. Even the one with Weather Report inside, they kind of gave you an information of who's playing on every song. I miss that with digital downloads. You really don't get it. You've got to go back somewhere else online to dig out that kind of information. And in all honesty, in the days of records, when you were playing it, you spent a lot of time with that album jacket. Just reading it, going over the lyrics, going over the data that they had on there. I mean, there was a lot of great things about having that actual physical copy of the album in your hands here while you're listening to it. Digital downloads, not so much. You kind of have to dig back and research on your own to find out what's there if you're interested. Now, I know a lot of people, they just want to listen to the music. That's fine. That's your choice. But for those of us that kind of want to dig a little deeper and find out who these people are and who's playing, and like the Creed Taylor ones, I mean, who was producing on there? Where did they record at his place? How his album stood out different than other people's? We really miss this kind of information. Anyways, let's get back to Cyndi Lauper. Just wanted to cover those 2 things. If you get a chance, a lot of stuff online. She's had a slew of albums out, and again, very diverse, from Broadway to what we're going to call classic rock. Discount bin finds, you never know what you're going to pick up. My discount bin find on Cyndi Lauper, the Collector's Series. And of course, if you get a chance, go back to where it all started from, that classic album, She's So Unusual. Okay, that's it for today. Cyndi Lauper on Classic Rock. Everybody, I hope you're having a great week. Just want to say thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on Friday.